Alrighty, g'day everyone, welcome. Hope everyone's well. Welcome to Wednesday workshop, folks. Quick sound check before we do start. Alrighty, g'day everyone. Yep, sounds like I'm coming through. Alright, so just before we do start, folks, everything we talk about is for educational purposes only, and by continuing to view this, you agree to those conditions. So let's jump in, folks. So, oh, wrong one, sorry. There we go. Okay, so workshop today. We're going to continue with our business essentials, but part 3 this time. G'day, Howard. So let's have a look at our topics for today. So we're going to continue to conduct our SWOT analysis on the trading business. But this time we're going to look at the opportunities and threats available to us. We're also going to have a look at what we do with or what invokes our ceased or reduced trading. What do we do with timeout, and what contingency plans do we have for the trading business? So once again, on creating our trading business plan, conducting the SWOT analysis. So why do we do this? Of course, so we went through the strengths, identifying our personality or character strengths that can be used and utilized to the fullest extent. Also identifying our weaknesses, which can often come from our strengths, that can be managed or minimized. Today we'll have a look at our opportunities available to us, and we'll have a look at some of the threats to our success. So what we're going to do is highlight these and outline these. Reason being, when you go through and create your own trading business plan, when we have to think out what it is that we want and document what we want, we tend to put more time and effort into focusing on what it is exactly we want, rather than just have it sort of, as a considered sort of option, but never really sort of think it out thoroughly. So when we conduct our SWOT analysis in terms of opportunities, when we utilize our strengths, what opportunities are available to us? So one of the strengths we discussed before was the individual who likes to plan the trades out would be better at swing trading. So what opportunities are available to us? That could be swing trading opportunities on FX, commodities or indices, and it could be swing trading opportunities on stock market as well. What are the hours of operation? So what are the opportunities in terms of hours of operation? And in terms of the hours of operation, what markets then, what opportunities, so what markets will present opportunities for us in those hours? What initial trading capital would be required for these opportunities? Do we have access to trading equipment and programs? So what opportunities do we have in terms of trading equipment programs? And in terms of our opportunities, what then could be the evolution of the trading business? So a lot of students that I teach start out in FX. They gain their consistency in FX. Then they transfer their skills onto other markets, such as the stock market. So that could be a natural evolution of the trading business. So let's have a look at when I did my SWOT analysis in terms of opportunities. What did I come up with? So there was ample market opportunities to trade. So I'm here in Asia. So we had the Australian stock market, we had the FX market in Asia. We had London in the late afternoon and evening, and I could trade at times to suit my personal schedule. There was readily available education. Small amount of capital was needed to trade the FX markets. There was many products that I could trade, and there was a variety of time slots that I could utilize, and I could expand my trading into other products and strategies, or other markets that should be. And there was the availability of technical assistance with the products, the trading programs that I've chosen. So continuing on with our SWOT analysis, what are the threats to the trading business? So one of those obviously would be the broker. So how do we go about minimizing this broker threat? Equipment failure. How do we go about minimising this? Internet or data failure. How do we go about minimising this? Price gapping. How is that a threat, and what can we do to minimise this? When we have black swan events or flash crashes, how do we minimise this threat? And any personal issues that you might have going on, they will be a threat to the survival of your trading business. So how do we deal with this? Let's have a look. So these are some of the ones that I identified as threats. So one was continued economic uncertainty. There's obvious market manipulation as a threat to the business. Price gapping overnight can increase the risk on trades held. Unreliable online data transfer. Potential computer equipment failure. So how do I go around that? So there could be internet downtime due to equipment or internet service provider failure, and there could be unforeseen costs that I haven't allowed for. So now that you've identified these, we'll discuss later, how do you come up with some contingency plans? So the next topic is our ceased or reduced trading, our timeout, and some contingency plans. So, for example, vacation time. So this is not necessarily our ceased or reduced trading. It's certainly reduced. So vacation time. So how do we prepare for vacation? Do we go flat on all of our positions? Do we manage our open positions? Do we continue to trade from the beach? Some people might be comfortable doing that. And maybe just monitoring, maybe having some swing trades and just monitoring those every 3 or 4 hours. Or do we review? Do we study? Do we do some reading? Remember, it is vacation time. So do we just relax? Do we go flat? Just relax, refresh and restore. So you need to have this predetermined. What do you do? So what do we do with our trading business plan when we have a reduced or ceased trading or a forced time out? So we need to identify, for starters, what constitutes reducing or pausing your trading. What constitutes a timeout? Are there personal reasons? Is there an extended drawdown period? Is there a trading psychology reason or a personal psychology reason? What conditions permit resuming trading? Let's have a look at example for my trading business plan. So these are the conditions that may invoke the cease trading rule. So one of those is low liquidity periods associated with unusual economic situations, as central bank intervention, elections, or any global economic factor likely to produce uncertainty. So we've seen when markets go into these low liquidity periods, and this could be over Christmas and Easter, that around those holiday times as well, but where there's any sort of unusual situations, the markets often are unpredictable. So that may invoke the cease trading rule. What else could invoke the cease trading, stopping trading? Overall capital stop loss triggered. So if you have a 10-12% stop loss on your overall capital, that could invoke your cease trading. Or it could be an extended losing period or a string of losses other than the statistical prediction. So if you know that your losing period, say you might lose a week out of a month. So if you've gone into a week and a half, 2 weeks, now we know that something's up. Or if you have a string of, let's say your string of losers is 6 in a row. So let's say now you're sitting at 7 or 8. So that should invoke cease trading. And obviously you need to find out what's caused this. If this is just a bit of an outlier and you've done everything correct, then you may resume trading. So what else can invoke the cease trading? Lack of discipline for an extended period. So if you had a few days where you just can't get it together, you need to say, right, that's it. Right, I need to stop, take a break, give myself a bit of a time out, forgive myself, and come back. Otherwise, if we've got this lack of discipline going on, what do we do the next day when we come back? Well, if you're doing your reviews properly, you've probably beaten yourself up for this lack of discipline. So you go into the next section with this, this kind of mindset of having kind of disciplined yourself. So you're better off just to step back and say, no, I'm not doing anything for a couple of days. So a failure to adhere to your trading plan rules over a longer than acceptable period. All right, so we're all going to, all of these lack of discipline, right? These should be getting less and less all the time. Failure to adhere to trading plan less and less over time, but it still may happen from time to time. All right, so this is where we find that we just can't, after a session or the next day we can't cut it. Now we need to say, right, invoke this. Thanks, Howard. Yeah, fair enough, Justin. Now, this is kind of a bit of a blanket statement, this one too, isn't it? Any other factor deemed to be in the best interest of the business. Right? Invoke the cease trading rule. So remember we spoke about before, psychology issues. There may be some personal things going on in your life, and you may be not in the right mindset, the right frame of mind to be able to trade with the proper mindset. So that is any other factor. So let's now have a look at some contingency plans. So what do we do if the following occurs? We need to have this clear in our mind. Internet outage. What do we do? Do we use our phone as a hotspot? Does our internet have a automatic switch over to mobile data? Mine has that, but I know it's incredibly slow. It does the job, but I wouldn't want to be trading off 3 or 4 screens. I would reduce back. What if we have an extended power outage? What do we do there? What's our contingency plan? One of those should be that you have the broker's phone number handy, that you can quickly ring and exit your positions. Or extended power outage, maybe that you're able to close down on your positions on your phone. What if you have equipment failure? What's your contingency or your backup plan for equipment failure? Do you have a second computer that you can quickly log in? Are you able to access it via a laptop or an iPad or your phone? What if you have software failure? Can you quickly back up? What if you have loss of data? So what, when, and how do we back up? So do you have a backup schedule? So in summarising today's workshop, folks, we conducted the personal SWOT analysis on our trading business, and in particular we looked at the opportunities and threats that could affect the trading business. We also looked at ceased or reduced trading rules, timeout, and contingency plans. So is there any other quick questions? Is there any questions, folks, before we move on? Apologies for the background noise there. Any questions, folks? If there's not, we will go and do some market analysis. So I'm sure most of you have seen a little bit of that before. All right, if there's no questions, we'll jump in. Yes, Howard, total commitment. So one of the best pieces of advice you've probably heard me say is learn to forgive yourself. None of us are perfect. We will make mistakes. All right, so quick look at the macro, folks. S&P 500 continuing down. Got our measured move here, so well and truly through that. It's testing the lows here. Now, we're looking around this low whether we got a bounce. Well, we got a little bit of potential accumulation through here. Didn't break the anchor though. The anchor's right here, so we're still downtrending on the S&P 500. So Dow's definitely through the low. Nasdaq is approaching, and the VIX. We're a little bit concerned about this through the base channel the last couple of days. You can see it's through that now. So still into risk off mode, folks. Some of the other markets, of course, the Euro stocks have broken down through this big range. So this is a bit ugly, this one, Euro stocks. Let's have a look at the dollar index. Continuing up. The euro, we're looking for some of these potential lows to give us a little bit of a reversal here. Wasn't ideally climactic, so we can see we just paused. So we had an inside bar here, and that was the case with a few of the other markets as well. So we're looking for this to kind of move through here. We didn't get it. Don't know whether anyone noticed the ABC here. Decided to take an entry there or through the low of the pause bar. If you did, that's pretty good. If you got onto that one, that's worthy. Just be mindful how it plays out around this low. If you got in through here, stop obviously here or here. This little stall area too shouldn't really come back above here. So I do get a little concerned when we there we go. Oops, sorry about that, folks. Didn't think that was going to finish. So a little bit towards the edge of the channel, Howard, yes. So you get a bit concerned taking trades, when the market's already moved this hard. Oh, just bear with me, folks. Alright, apologies about that. Howard, 1 hour. Well, so 60 minutes, okay. So there's that pause bar that we spoke about. Look, there's a little ABC in there as well. Market came down. Gave the swing in there. Anyone see that one? The stop through there. We're hoping this. Well, we're looking for a reversal. Notice with a lot of these reversals, they didn't actually trigger. That's what keeps us out of these. Did mention yesterday that they didn't quite have the look. All right, euro dollar. All right, so what is it that I do like? And we'll have a look at, make some mention of a couple of other markets that are interesting. So we're still risk off. I'm sticking with about 80% position size because of where the markets are kind of sitting. Don't want to get that quick snapback. Oh, this has moved, which is good. So the first one was Euro Oz. We spoke about this yesterday. This was on the list. So we had weekly looks good, daily was at this trend line, tested it. We're looking for it to squeeze into it and pop, which it did. Was at the 61 as well. So a couple of key areas. We had the shakeout through here, move through here, above the 20, rising through here. I'm looking for this to hold actually right here, and then look for something here, so I actually missed this. So, I don't know whether anyone got into this one through here. I was actually looking for this through here. Still pretty good. It's at daily R3, okay, so there's the floor pivot that I put on. See it there, orange. And I use the Fibonacci pivots as well, not Camarilla or any others. I find those to be better. Now, just because it's there, you can see it's pausing. You'll see on the shorter time frames. No, there's a beautiful little breakout, wasn't there? You can see it's tested, it's pausing. Doesn't mean it's going to automatically stop. Okay. And depending on previous action, like short range, these will be squeezed together as well. So if you're already in that, well done. We did say when Euro Oz gets moving, it can move. So that's a good one. Hope some of you did take that one. I found an entry. Nothing wrong with once it breaks this channel that we were looking at, drilling down to fine tune your entry. Right, so this is, I'll leave this on the list, but if this is going to give us something, we need to see it pull back. We've got no choice now, do we? There we go. Look, nice little on the 60 minute, nice little ABC through here with a shakeout. Through there, back to the 20. Bullish 180, bullish outside engulfing. Yeah, stop here. So you've already got 1 and a bit R's. Pretty good. All right. It's a costly gym session there today then for me. That's a Euro Aussie. A counter trend long, I had Euro USD. Why? Okay, so we've got this extended area, inside bar, reasonable gap. Now, sometimes what occurs here, if you can't get entry short back here, often what we get, so we've got here, there's a move, and then that fake out, and then straight back. All right, so that's what I'm thinking. So we get that false breakout, especially after such a big down move. So you can look at these, you could look at this both ways. Opportunity short if you want to get into that extended move, Or if you want to go for the long, got your anchor up here. You really want to see this get rejected. You need to be reasonably brave if you're going to take it based off a reversal through here. So if we get a bullish 180, that would be a very early entry, wouldn't it? Otherwise, we get a little bit of continuation. Gets above the 20. You can take it, have a look around the anchor. Let's be mindful though, now we're chewing up a bit of time. So that's why I've got that one. So it could go both ways. Bit concerned about taking swing shorts because of the extension. That's what I would be seeing. So short, CAD yen. CAD yen, however, notice the difference here. Had a bit of time where we've gone sideways. So this was on that CAD news. So all the shorts here have had their opportunity to cover. And now it looks like they're pushing back. The weekly, however, is still testing the 20. Daily retracement is right on the 61. So you can see it's already got rejected there. All right, so that's the swing that I've used, this swing through here. Well, it's legit. Done our 40-60 through here. Excuse me. So the daily, looks like a nice little pause. Let's drill down and have a look at the 4 hour. So it's through the base channel, through potential 1. And we're getting a good old fashioned triangle in here. Okay. So there's the 6. Oh yeah, I thought I put it on before. So there's the 61. Big move. There's no massive short covering. So, triangle is basically a big ABC, isn't it? In this form. Here's our 20. So B being very close to the lower. Just be a little careful with that. My preference would be to see it maybe pop and get rejected and back down again. Or we get a ABC through here and through B. Or we might get a little consolidation in here and through. So I thought that's worthy. CAD yen. Alright, some of these counter trend moves. We spoke about the dollar pairs the other day. Now these have just gotten even more extended. Yes, I think so, Howard. Yeah, good question. So these have just gotten more and more extended, which is fine. So when we see, so last we were here. Now we're into this. This is kind of reasonable peak, isn't it? You look at that. However, let me ask you the question. So which would be stronger? Let's say we had a swing that was in here. So which would I consider the stronger out of these two peaks? So this is 1, or this is 2. Which would I consider the stronger? Which should we consider the stronger? So Howard says 1. Anyone else? Alistair says 2. So let's say this one in here is kind of this magnitude here. Justin says 2. Yeah, the more recent. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at 1. So 1 has been in effect, there's no doubt about it, here. Right, so all of these unfilled orders. Price has come back up, it's got rejected, it's done its thing. Right, can't continue short though. So now it's just absolutely sheared through it here, hasn't it? So any effect that this had is now kind of negated, isn't it? So if it wasn't here, well, it is here, isn't it? So now that this has been broken a couple of times, this is kind of losing a little bit of strength. We're straight through it. So this one here though, because as we said before, it's more recent, these have more credibility and more strength. So when I look at, and I've probably never said this before, when I look at support and resistance, I always look immediate left. See this? So I look at, Alistair's got it, more recent. If these happen to line up with previous, without being, broken unnecessarily like that, that gives it a little bit of strength. That adds to it. See, there's another one here. All right, but this is not, this one here, there's not actually a peak through here. But we can see that it's, even though it was broken here, we can see it's retested it, and we can see it's still, obviously reasonable. All right, so I give these levels more credibility. You can see that one definitely. You got to remember too, how many, bigger players are looking that far back. They're generally looking, just at the left-hand side. So on the inverse too, if this was to come back down, these are the levels I'm giving credibility to. That one, definitely. This one, of course. And probably this one through here. Been broken though, it's been broken, so I would give that less credibility. However, look, we can see it's come back here. Well, it's on the way back down. All right, so it's at a level which, look, yeah, not as strong, but it's an initiation level here from the thrust down. So that has potential to stall price. So we've got one. So when we look at, how are we going for time? We look at the trend, the momentum. Look, we've got accelerating momentum. This can't last. All right, so we're looking to profit on these ones. I'd also encourage you, if it doesn't get too extended, continue looking for longs, but reduced risk in here. We spoke about that with with dollar Chinese yuan and dollar Singapore. So you can see there's been opportunity. Don't always just be looking for to catch that reversal. Still, there's something reasonable sets up. consider it. Because trends go on a lot longer than we think. So, whoops. So we've had this nice big push. We've got a couple of wicks in here, so they're being filled. No, this is not a wick fill. Bluefin wick fill, that's already done right here. See that? So there's our reversal that came from that. And now we're just gradually filling this back up. So any of those shorts that have entered through here, the bigger players, they're being absorbed, aren't they? So this is still bullish. But should this start to roll, then obviously I'm interested in potentially getting short. We can see here we didn't get a setup the other day. This was in here. So the usual sort of scenario. Here's a 20. Needs to get under that and then give us a setup as it starts to roll. All right, so it's still a little way off. So that's why I've indicated that one. Dollar Chinese one as well. Or incidentally, there's that dollar Swiss that we spoke about yesterday, Howard. No, so it's moving out. Still want to see it pulling back and heading off. So the dollar Chinese one is really getting extended. So look for the same. Got my nice little pretty ribbon through here I was playing around with. Yeah, it just makes it easy to see, doesn't it? So that's just a ribbon between the 8 and the 20. Kind of colours itself in. Looks good, doesn't it? Anyway, so it's same thing with this one. Keep looking for longs. There was it's kind of obvious now. Obvious little breakout here. Retest there on a shorter time frame. So still keep considering longs with these. Excuse me. We identified this early ABC through here back to the 20. So if you're still in that, that's a pretty good trade. Dollar yen is nothing. So I looked at a few of these before. Dollar Singapore, getting that extended look as well. So the same thing. Let's break this one down. 4 hour. Target back here at the 20. Here's the 60-minute. Nice little kind of little cup with handle with a breakout pullback there. That would have been worthy. So looking for this to kind of stall out here. 20 to kind of start to roll. Looking for something under it here. Now this will be getting up here, so that's good. 30, 40 pips before it hits that. That's what I'm seeing with that one. So no, they didn't trigger originally. Here's another one. See here, we're watching here. So waiting for the right price action trigger keeps you out of trades if they just keep going. So some of the ones that are worth just mentioning and reviewing. Same with the Aussie dollar. It's getting a little extended. This wasn't quite the look here. But I thought I would mention this here. We're looking for this back up here, weren't we? Instead we came down hard. Yeah, there's a beautiful breakout pullback. That's exactly what I talk about. See that one there? Anyone see that and get on board? There's a little swing in there, but there's C and it fails there. So that's a beautiful retest and entry. That was a great example. I've taken a copy of that for myself. Well, the 4 hour didn't. 4 hour just gave a very shallow pullback. I've spoken about the pullback to the 20, to the short term. Now I'm expecting the bigger one. See here, look, short term, bigger one. When you look at the swings. So that's a great example. The other one is Aussie Yen, which is a good example. Very similar through here. Same thing, just price is just moving down, high momentum. Broke through this structure. We're looking for this to potentially break up in this region. Didn't get it. Broke down instead with high momentum. Don't know whether anyone spotted this one. I didn't. So well and good with hindsight, but this little pattern would have driven that as well. Little lower high through there. So there's that one, same thing, breakout pullback through. Not bad. Euro pound. Now this is along that same theme that you were looking at, Alistair. Big move. It's had its pullback. So the longs have been taking profit. They're not necessarily taking more, but we don't really know. Well, we've actually just got a little structure through here. Back to the 20. This is back to the 20 on the 4 hour. So this is where these are a toss up. Do I kind of get long? There's pullback through here, and these, bull market territory above the 50, at or above the 40, 50 handle. So these aren't bad. These are worth considering, even if we do get A, B, and then it goes into C. You can still kind of get some reasonable trades out in there. So I thought that was worth bringing to our attention. So a few of the pound pairs look very similar to this. British pound, USD or cable. We were looking for this long. Didn't get it, so we had that big sell-off. We've covered this move. So you can now see this is a 60-minute. We're kind of sitting back around, the edge of this range. When we look at our We've definitely got the ABC here. These are less probable because of this, Alistair. You're absolutely right. These are less probable. Often these big moves, short covering. Obviously what we want to see with a short covering is move right back up into the initiation point and get our V reversal. When they don't do that, they can often just give us the right side of the V reversal. We usually like to see this and then a move, but this here can kind of turn into this sort of crappy, horrible structure. Alright, so just be mindful of that. But in saying that, they can then test the low and then it goes. Alright. So these are worth looking at, but maybe with reduced risk. In answer to your question. So let's have a look at a few of the others. Yeah, how yes, there's a little bit of a... Yes, there is. Yeah, you're right. There's a triangle in there already. Remember, once again, though, triangle is just a pattern. It's, what's occurring. So definitely got a swing in there. You could look at that as a wedge, though, too. So just be careful of these. Pound Oz. This is very similar, look. But this is actually looking like Pound CAD. They've still got this big extension on the daily, which is my concern. But look, this is looking very similar, isn't it? Pound Swiss was the one that came to my attention as well. Pound yen, same thing. Well, we were hoping these would continue through here to give us that reversal. Look, no trade. So that keeps us out of these bad trades. And we've just got this ranging structure here. So yeah, these are worth keeping your eye on. Well, you can see, look, on the 4 hour, it's not bad. But yes, in testing and that, this here is what kind of kills a lot of them. You got to think of it too. The bigger players have created this move, covered some shorts, made some money, push it down again, and then there's that temptation for them to start covering again. So if you've studied the V reversals, you'll know that often this can run along the 20 and then pop. So just be careful of that. But great observation, Alistair. These are if you sit this out, you never get anything, you never take a setup. Consider that. If you never get a setup, consider that as a winning trade. Consider that as good discipline. It's easy to see these and get carried away. I got GA, and this was, I think I told you the other day, I got GA during Asia. But it was fantastic, look. Yeah, very good, Alistair. So I got this during Asia. So I think I told you, I got about 300 pips through here to the 20. There it is. So I got this move here. I covered this leg. The fact they're all doing it too. So yeah, we could get a big short covering moment. So there we go, folks. All right, look out for the watch list. Not seeing a lot either, folks. There's not a lot of news either. Not seeing a huge amount of setups. So You know, all of these here are kind of, except Euro Oz, which has already moved. A lot of these are all sort of A minus. But just keep that in mind. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, that was a good one. So trade safe, folks. Be selective, I think, the next couple of days. Let's see what we get. So thank you again, folks, for your company. Desktop version should be available next week as well. So I've had a look at it. It looks pretty good. There's a chat room in there as well. So looking pretty good. So yes, folks, take care, trade safe, and talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.